figures, and you held them 23 points below their season average. How do you think your defense? Do you believe the defensive effort was what was key tonight?
Yeah, I do. Our transition defense, they got us a couple times, but when you watch them play the games early in the week, I was really scratching my head. Just okay, how are we going to get back fast enough? Made shot and missed shot. Made shot, they get the ball into the front court as well as I think anybody in the country. So was looking forward to seeing how our defense, because we've talked about this a lot. Our half-court defense has been very good, and I was so it needed to start with the transition defense, which I felt like was good tonight. In the half-court, I mean, they've got such a unique combination of the ability to play really fast and get the ball in the front court, and then when it isn't there, their execution and their set plays in the quarter court, the stuff they got around the rim, they're wrapping around guys, and all of a sudden they catch a little brush screen and they're open at the rim, or they run a shooter around, and all of a sudden he's open for three. Like their execution is it's really good. So yeah, I liked guys did a good job defensively for sure.
Talk to the guys. They talked about how are you going to attack that matchup that they played, and Leon and Trey both said just that they had to be aggressive. Do you think you felt you were aggressive enough on the offensive side?
Yeah, I do. It's so challenging in that it'll show you kind of the same look for a couple possessions, but if you offensively, if you stay in the same thing, the same alignment, then that defense changes, and they have a different guy take the ball, or they have a different guy come up and take the wing, and then so now as an offensive player, you've got to figure out where to go next, and doing that over the course of 40 minutes is a real challenge. It's just, and that's where in the second half, when we did get the lead up to 14 or in that range, maybe 14, 16, their matchup zone took control of the game. And they made an adjustment, which they typically do as the game wears on. They figure out where you're at and where you're hurting them, and they move their pieces on the chessboard around. So now you've got to figure out what to do next. And I give our guys a lot of credit. I talked to them about being really all week about being aggressive and keeping things as simple as you can. Really aggressive, and then you come to a stop and throw a little bounce pass, or use a shot fake, or skip a ball opposite. And I thought the guys did a good job offensively against a real challenging defense.
Are you, negative questions here, but are you surprised with your free throw shooting woes a little bit here?
I am, just that we've got two things. We've got really good shooters, and they're in the gym a lot. So I over my time in coaching, it's we've had really good shooting teams go through some stretches here and there, and it's just not something I get concerned about or worry about. And it's the same with this team. We've got guys that spend a lot of time in the gym, and we've got guys that are good players and good shooters. So I don't. It isn't something that concerns me.
And Leon, another fine game. I mean, I think the key there that late, he had a stretch there where he had to block the dunk, and then he scored another in, and that they'd kind of pulled within three. That was kind of a big stretch.
Yeah, the turnaround. I don't know what the score was when he made the turnaround in the lane. That was an important basket. The defensive play, because we were either going to foul him or he was going to score. Like, it took a terrific defensive play to prevent that. Tu's a very good player, and when he's on the run or downhill, as he was on that play, he's going to score most of those, or he's going to get fouled. So it did. It took a terrific play by Leon to come out of that for us with the possession. We talk about being aggressive and keeping things simple. Leon was a great example of that tonight. I know he ended with 26, and sometimes you see that and you think, man, the guy must have had to do this and this and this, and he had to make some really good plays for us, and he did. But I thought he was great in terms of being aggressive, on 2 feet a couple times, getting fouled, on 2 feet, dropping off a pass, aggressive on some catch and shoot things in the corners, and at the same time kept it pretty simple. And we needed that tonight. because that defense is, like I said, it's really challenging, but it gets more challenging as the game goes on. And that's so we needed that from Leon. That was good.
Well, I know you guys all love B10-0. You're 8-2, and you got your first conference game coming up on Wednesday. How do you feel about that?
Yeah, we've talked a lot about the Tulsa and Wichita and our transition defense and our defensive rebounding. Right? And it's going to be the same message. When we got a day off tomorrow, it'll be the same message on Monday, Tuesday as we get ready for UIC. Is can we do a little bit more in defensive transition with our communication and our urgency, so we don't give up a couple of easy ones. And can we do a little bit more with our physicality on our blockouts and creating space and get two-hand rebounds? And there's a couple again tonight, right, that we left on the table. So I feel like the guys, and I've said this, it isn't that they aren't doing a good job with our transition defense and a good job with our defensive rebounding, but I know I said it on Monday. Like you've got a lot of control over communication and sprinting back and blocking out and toughness with the ball. And that's where I feel like we can take a step, just one more step, because that then will put us into a category of really good transition defense, really good defensive rebounding, to go with the half-court defense that has been at that level already, and to go with, offensively, our transition offense has been good. Our passing and teamwork, our assist numbers have been good. We've got guys that can make plays. We talked about Leon, Tristan, Trey, Will, Benny. Like, there's a lot of things that are pretty darn good right now. So if we can elevate the transition defense and the defensive rebounding so we'll keep working on that on Monday, Tuesday.
So it's a little bit of a challenging week, finals.
Yeah.
You got the conference game where the intensity kind of ratchets up a little bit, and then you got to make a trip out to California again. How do you give the guys some time, and how do you prepare?
Yeah, it'll be the first two. The academic part of it, the finals with guys wrapping up, and there's guys that have had some things that already got done this week, so that the finals week still as important as it's ever been, but it seems like some things get done the week ahead of time a little bit with some final projects or maybe some tests. So, and I say that because I know some of our guys have done that already. But the academics and getting ready for UIC will be the two things that we do over the next 4 or 5 days. Okay? And then when we get done with those two things, then we'll turn our attention to St. Mary's.
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
Last one for me. Max, how I know he was out tonight, illness. What will he be just kind of day by day, or?
Yeah, we don't know yet when we'll have him back. We're just gonna have to wait and see how he feels. And I wish I could give you more on that, Nelly, but I'm not going to.
All right, no problem.
Yep.
With regard to the St. Mary's